Just doing the average white bottle is fine, but it's really the brands that create that brand image that are crushing it right now. Differentiation, sustainability, form factor, colors, all those things have to be different.
So is a lot of manufacturing of supplements sold in the U.S. done in the U.S. or still some done overseas?
The brand owner should be spending their time on building the brand, not worrying about and babysitting the manufacturer, which is what a ton of time goes into if they don't have the right partners.
If somebody's going to launch something, what are they doing right now that's completely wrong when launching a supplement?
You're watching the Marketing Misfits with Norm Farrar and Kevin King.
Kevin King, are you ready?
Norm, I'm born ready. Almost. Let's go. What's up, everybody? How you doing, man? Welcome to another Marketing Misfits with your two misfits here, Mr. Norm Farrar and Kevin King. Mr. Farrar, how be you?
I'd be good. Kev.
You be good?
I'm happy. The weather is warming up. I get to go out with my cigars and have a smoke now out on the balcony.
See, I'm gonna make you jealous. I'm having dinner tonight with some good friends of ours, with Rich, Isabella, H, with Amy, with Mark. We're gonna go to a steakhouse and eat some steak, and we'll do a toast in honor of the Farrar. And we'll say, and toast in honor of the Farrar. 1, 2, 3. One be all be king. Something like that.
You know what I really appreciate is invitations. But
well, you're welcome to fly. You're welcome to fly down. I'll send the jet. I'll send the Misfits jet.
Okay.
I'll send the Misfits jet. It'll pick you up. There's cigars and Coke Zeros and ginger beers in the fridge in the jet, so you're all good.
And just make sure there's supplements.
It's dog friendly, and there's supplements for people with bad hips and bad knees, and migraines and everything else. You know what? Our guest today is like one of the kings in the supplement space. I think this guy has done hundreds of millions of dollars in supplements, both his own brands and helping other people get into it. But you know what? It's kind of relevant that we're doing this just coincidentally. The last couple nights before I go to sleep, I usually turn on the TV, and I'm a late night person. I'm like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning is my bedtime. And usually around 12, 1 o'clock, whenever I finish working, I'll actually go and watch an hour or two of TV. And I've been watching this documentary on Netflix about Tylenol. I don't know if you remember, but back in 1982 in the United States, Tylenol, there was a scare where 7 people in the Chicago area died by taking extra strength Tylenol. And they were, the theory was that some nutcase went into the stores and actually opened up Tylenol bottles and took the little capsules out and put new capsules in there, or unscrewed them or whatever, and put cyanide in and put them back in. And 3 people in one family died. And then it became a big deal. And then Johnson & Johnson was the company that made it. It was their number one sellers, like $500 million a year back then, which is in the billions today. And they freaked out and they basically denied anything. And then this show goes through who is the potential killer. They found a couple different killers, and they make this case. The case to this day is unsolved. Nobody knows. And it happened again 2 years later. But there's this one guy that was a nutcase that did all this kind of stuff, and they think he might be the killer. And then they're like, no, Johnson & Johnson actually did a big cover-up because it's a corporation, and there's actually cyanide at Johnson & Johnson that got contaminated, and someone inside did it. It's this whole fascinating thing. So it changed the whole industry, where now we have all the bottles, that have the
safety seals.
The safety seals, 3 different levels of safety seals. That didn't exist back then. It comes in a box that's glued tight, and then it goes into another thing that has some sort of divider in there. A lot of times you got to use your nail or get a pen, jab it to get it open. And then on top of that, it's sealed. So it got me thinking, our guest today is in supplements. And it's going to be a question I'm going to ask him. Supplements are completely unregulated in the not completely, but highly unregulated in the United States. And I just saw a story, it was in my newsletter, about Amazon specifically, where there's a lot of fake supplements on Amazon. And I'm doing a routine now with a lot of supplements over the summer, where I'm taking some extra stuff to try to do some healthy things. And it makes me wonder, can I trust this stuff? What am I putting in my mouth from some random company that I've never heard of? And It's going to be interesting to see his take on some of this. So I'm excited for our guests.
Yeah, well, some of the problems you might have, Kevin, is when you open it with a chainsaw, it's those plastic particles that get in there. And when you take the supplement, you shouldn't be taking the
Well,
plastic particle.
I lost my grip. My grip strength is down. So I just went to Dave Asbury's thing last week, and I got a little device to get my grip strength stronger, because they say grip strength is an indicator of how long you're going to live. So I'm like, I'm trying to fix this problem, Norm. Just give me a chance. Just give me a chance.
Well, maybe our guest Adam will help you.
Let's see. Let's see if he's got some. Dr. Adam. No, he's not a doctor, but Mr. Adam has some advice. I don't think he's a doctor.
Well, let's bring him on and welcome. Not
Hello.
Dr. Adam Ackerman.
Not a doctor. He plays one on TV. He plays one on YouTube.
Right.
How you doing, Adam?
I'm good. I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. We've been talking about this for a while now.
We have. Glad to have you here. So, for those that don't know who the heck you are, what's your story? Who are you?
Well, who are any of us, right? That's the question. But in this reality, I am a full-time Amazon seller. I've been selling since 2013, like many of the viewers and listeners and you guys have, and been fortunate enough to have a lot of success in the supplement, beauty, and health space. And about 2.5 years ago, I was extremely frustrated with the experiences I was having with manufacturers. And I actually went to the first person I ever bought a supplement from back in 2013, my business partner, James. And he was out of the business. He had his own manufacturing facility. I said, hey, man, listen, there is a need more now than ever for complete transparency and for a company to come in and help founders, startups, existing brands navigate and simplify the Nutra beauty and pet manufacturing space for a lot of the reasons that you just talked about, Kevin, right? Like, what am I putting in my body as a consumer? And as a brand, how do I navigate the process of finding the right manufacturers to work with that are going to deliver on what I think I'm putting in my product, right? Because that's a big problem too. And so over the last couple of years, we founded Turnkey Health and Beauty to do just that. And it's been a lot of fun helping a lot of startups and existing brands scale their companies, because on one hand, you've got the manufacturing component, which is making the product. But then on the other side, whereas my expertise comes in, it's like, how do I scale my brand? What are the ways to be different in today's marketplace that isn't like everybody else, and how to create differentiation and how to really use all the platforms available, because there's so many to start a new product. And we're seeing more brands coming into the marketplace than ever before. I'm sure you guys are seeing it too.
Yeah, there are some red flags on Amazon, and this is perfect for the show, because first of all, you've got to market you've got to be able to market and make sure that you address these red flags. But before we go anywhere, why don't we talk about some of these red flags so the listeners know what we're talking about?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, well, it depends on which side you're talking about, as a consumer or a brand owner. But a lot of times, the brand owners will try and, they'll just do a basic Google search. You can do that, and you're going to see hundreds of manufacturers come up. Private label, which is just taking somebody else's product, putting your name on it, and selling it. And then you've got your custom formulations. But a lot of the times, you'll come across manufacturers who aren't overly established, or they're not what are called the things you want to look for are they NSF certified, right? Are they FDA compliant and regulated? Do they have the CGMP certifications? Those are some of the things that are absolute musts today, but a lot of brand owners don't know to ask or to verify or to look for.
So you guys doing so you're actually a contract manufacturer, so you own the facilities, you own the whole line there. You're not like brokering out to somebody else. Like, you guys have the brick and mortar factory
Yeah,
manufacturing.
we're actually a hybrid. We're a hybrid model. We do have our own manufacturing facility in South Carolina. where we do a lot of the capsule manufacturing. But then what was happening is we had so many other brands coming to us that were kind of outside of our scope of expertise, but still needed help, that we went out and we developed a nationwide network of manufacturers to do the gummies, the powders, the beauty products, the pet products. But what we've done is simplify that by building a proprietary software. Are you guys familiar with like Lending Tree
Hmm.
by chance, right? So the idea there is when banks compete, you win. Well, we took that same model and just put it into the supplement, beauty, and pet world. So, for instance, if you wanted to create a product, you'd have to go out there and you'd have to try and find 6 or 7 really good manufacturing partners to work with. And each one of them would be a very long process to develop a formulation with, right? And get pricing back. Our model is simple. You work with us, we get the formulation dialed in, we put it into our proprietary software, and then that goes out to bid. So within 2 weeks, you've got 7, 8, 10, 12 bids coming back, right? That we sift through. We identify the best 2 or 3 options based on the customer's criteria. And then we sit down and we have a call and we go through those options with them so they know they're getting the best price, best customer service, MOQs. We just really simplify that process. And then once they want to move forward, we do the purchase order and then we introduce them to the manufacturer. But the best part is they don't pay any additional for that service, because the commission that most of these manufacturers pay for an internal sales rep, they just redirect those commissions to us. But yeah, we oversee the entire process and we vet every manufacturer for them so they know when they move forward, they're already working with the best.
So this is more like you're acting as a liaison or a sourcing agent,
Yeah, we're
right?
like an extension. We're like an extension of these manufacturers in addition to our own facility. Because again, the reason why I started the company is I was super frustrated with the lack of communication, poor customer service, missed deadlines, the product not having in it what it's supposed to. So we figured, well, why not just eliminate all those headaches for a brand owner? Because us being marketers, right, on this call, that's what we are, amongst other things, but us being marketers, I know as a business owner, the brand owner should be spending their time on building the brand, not worrying about and babysitting the manufacturer, which is what a ton of time goes into if they don't have the right partners.
Hey, Norm, you'll love this, man. I talked to a seller the other day doing 50K a month. But when I asked them what their actual profit was, they just kind of stared at me.
Are you serious? That's kind of like driving blindfolded.
Exactly, man. I told them you got to check out Seller Board, this cool profit tool that's built just for Amazon sellers. It tracks everything like fees, PPC, refunds, promos, even changing COGS during using FIFO.
Aha. But does it do FBM shipping costs too?
Sure does. That way you can keep your quarter four chaos totally under control and know your numbers, because not only does it do that, but it makes your PPC bids, it forecasts inventory, it sends review requests, and even helps you get reimbursements from Amazon.
Now that's like having a CFO in your back pocket.
You know what? It's just $15 a month. But you got to go to sellerboard.com/misfits, sellerboard.com/misfits. And if you do that, they'll even throw in a free 2-month trial.
So you want me to say, go to sellerboard.com misfits and get your numbers straight before your accountant loses it?
Exactly.
All right.
So is a lot of manufacturing of supplements sold in the U.S. done in the U.S. or still some done overseas? I know a lot of the raw ingredients come from overseas, but can you walk me through those two things of what's
Yeah,
actually made here and where's the actual raw ingredients come from?
that's a great question. So a lot of brands will, and this goes back to not knowing what you're putting into your body. I've done multiple quotes for companies recently where they were outsourcing their products from China mainly, right? They were making it there, bringing it and selling it on Amazon. We started quoting the pricing of what they were paying versus what the raw ingredients are to bring in. And what they were selling it on Amazon was what the product actually would cost with the right ingredients and the right packaging and everything. So we tested the product and it turned out the product wasn't real. It wasn't what they were selling. okay, sourcing it from
Mm.
China. Now, I'm not saying that's always the case. I'm just using a reference point to my most recent experience. And so when we told the customer that, they were kind of shocked, but we never heard from that customer again, right? Moving forward, so it happens a lot. The way that we work and what I would always recommend is we source global ingredients, mainly from India and from other countries. But as those raw ingredients come in, they're always tested, right? So there's like three levels of testing. So the raw ingredients come in, they're tested to make sure it is what it is, and a certificate of analysis is issued on the raws. Then the product goes into production and it all gets mixed together based on the blend. Again, it's tested once that's done. And then the final test is done when the product is completed. It's packaged, they grab a package, they open it up, and they test it again. So there's three layers of testing with all NSF, CMG, and FDA certified facilities in the US, or at least that should be done. So does that answer your question? Does that make sense?
That's just one side, but what about the other side as a consumer? If I'm buying something on Amazon, how do I know what I'm getting? Is there some like with pH levels in water, someone says this is pH level 7.0 or above, like core water. I can actually take a little iodine dropper, drop it in there, it'll change the color, and it's like a drug test. And it tells me this is this has the right amount or it doesn't. Is there something like that with supplements as a consumer where, because I could be taking, I'm not a big supplement person, but I could be taking whatever the big chromium, and I'm like, this ain't doing nothing for my diabetes. And I'm really not taking. I'm taking a placebo or something. I'm taking something else, and it's not chromium. I blame it on that. Is there a way
Yeah.
for me to know, or is there just a? Is it just a trust? It's because that's marketing. Is it just a marketing trust of this company or the reviews, or how can I protect myself as a consumer that I'm getting the real thing?
Yeah, great question. So ideally, you're purchasing products from from a well-established brand that kind of has nationwide reach. You would think that would be a safe place to start, but even then, it doesn't always end up being the case. You can ask the brand for a certificate of analysis before you purchase a product. They need to be able to show that and prove that to you, that you ask for it, they send it to you, you can see what's in it, and then it's passed. Amazon for years has it's been the Wild West. Recently, I would say over the past 6 months, Amazon is going through their entire catalog and they're beginning to require brands to send their product into a third party testing facility. Okay. Eurofins is one of the main testing facilities right now. So for instance, a product will get flagged, that brand owner will have to send it into Eurofins. Eurofins will test it based on label claims and what the supplement facts panel says. If it passes, Amazon gets that certification and they keep the product on Amazon. If it fails, Amazon shuts down that listing, maybe indefinitely, or at least until the point where that brand can prove that label claims are being met. And that's the only real way moving forward that's going to really shake out and be effective. But we're
What are
talking
you seeing the number that are actually not making it back on? Is it a high percentage that are not
that,
making
that,
it?
that if they get blocked, you mean, or if they don't
Yeah,
pass,
yeah.
you can take corrective measures to get back on. There is a protocol that is required in order to do it. So you're not dead in the water if it doesn't
Yeah,
pass.
but I guess what I'm asking is how many people were faking it?
Oh, I don't know.
You don't know that number? Okay.
That's that would be Eurofins. And it's not that necessarily everyone's faking it. There could be, there's a lot of variables that go into a product not meeting label claims, but yeah, it's a high number, and so that's why
What
you got
about
to.
counterfeits are a big problem too, right, on Amazon? With commingling of, USPs and commingling stock where the legit brand who meets the standards that you just set and has passed, and then some other reseller comes on and is selling actually a counterfeit version. There's been a lot of media and press around that on Amazon as well.
Yeah, I think maybe
Mm.
you can answer that better, but having brand registration and brand ownership ideally should eliminate a lot of that or all of that.
Yeah, it can eliminate some, but it's still pretty rampant. I had a story in my newsletter a couple weeks ago about it, where it's pretty pretty crazy about how much it's still the Wild West, even though Amazon is clamping down on it. But that's why you gotta go, like you said, you gotta go legit people or people that show in their reports on their listing or something, or you're asking for it. Um, it because I think there's probably a lot of people that are probably taking stuff that's just not what they
And
think they're taking.
I think that's a great area for for brand owners to win, right? I think in the past, transparency and good marketing lingo was more than enough to build a brand. But if you're either new coming in or you want to gain market share, the more transparent you can be, the more you just put that COA right up on the page for someone to be able to view and verify and build confidence. That's only going to help your brand moving forward.
I brought some supplements back, and I showed them to my wife, and it was a sleeping product. And I thought it was pretty cool because of the buzzword that they used. I'm just going to make something up, like uh, keto sleepoids, right? And I took a look. Oh, I'm going to have all these keto sleepoids. This is really cool. And my wife looked at it. She's a registered nurse, and she looked at it and she goes, Norm, all you did was you bought melatonin and you bought there's no such thing as, and I thought, oh, good for the marketing company for these bloody supplements. They hooked me. And I think that's really important that a lot of these supplements that are out there, it's a great marketing ploy is you make up a word and you put a combination of ingredients in. Um, I don't know how popular it is, but it caught me.
Yeah. What's interesting nowadays, because we get asked all the time, like, well, if you were starting a brand today, or I wanted to launch a product in the supplement, beauty, or pet space, how would I do it right now? And my whole my whole thought process is focusing on symptom based solutions. Whereas in the past, you could launch an evergreen brand, and an evergreen brand, in my mind, would have been, no, your turmerics, your fish oils, just kind of things that people use every single day. And to your point, Norm, you can still launch those products and be extremely successful in a competitive landscape by focusing on symptom based solutions using those ingredients or a combination of those ingredients. And using Chat GPT is a great way to kind of find angles. AI I know has been a big thing. Kevin, you've been talking about a lot lately, just leveraging that technology to create formulations that win and focus on what people are really dealing with and solving those problems.
You just talked about if you were going to launch something nowadays, and that's a common question. My question is, if somebody's going to launch something, what are they doing right now that's completely wrong when launching a supplement?
Well, I think the main thing I see too much is just generic. They don't have this. It's about this. In my mind, it's about the story, right? Like it goes back to the basics of being a good marketer. And I'd love to hear your guys' feedback on what you're seeing, but telling that unique story and building an audience and a community around the brand. So, for example, if you were to launch a sleep product, I wouldn't launch anything with melatonin, right? When everyone's going one way, I'd go the other. So, what are some ingredients that are non-melatonin based that I could build a hero ingredient around, build a sleeping supplement around, non-melatonin based, that I could build a community and a solution based problem to. So if you deal with this X symptom, right, and build a community. And this, I've created a product that solves that particular symptom, and it doesn't have this other stuff in it, and you don't want that other stuff in it because this, and this, right? Now that's interesting. That's different than everybody else is, what they're selling.
Now, marketing around claims, that's very difficult, especially on Amazon. So, and we can talk about this in general, but on Amazon, they're very strict. How do you market a supplement and get around without getting around the claim? Like if you claim anything, you could be suspended, correct?
I think there's a lot of common sense that would hopefully go into this process, but you're not claiming to cure something, right? You're basically saying I suffered from this issue, therefore I went ahead and created a product that has this and this and this to help myself. And I know if it helps me, it could probably help a lot of other people too, and just more restful sleep. So you have to talk around the symptom. You can talk about the symptom, but you're not talking about curing that symptom per se. You can say it supports this, or it may help with that. So you have to be careful. And then part of the process that we do with all our customers, you create a label, it goes through quality control, and there's checks and balances there that we can say, you can say this, but you can't say that. And so it's just really massaging the language to create the desired result, right? Connecting the dots in the consumer's mind without crossing the line.
And you can do stuff like OBVI is a good example. OBVI, I think is how they spell it. They have a fat burner, but you can't say that. Like Norm said, you can't say this, burn 20% of your fat or whatever it is. You can't make those claims on Amazon or TikTok or a lot of other places. But what they do is they show images of a stick of butter on fire, and their slogan is melts like butter. And so that image in your mind, and then there's the bottle of ODV right there, subset into the picture. And instantly like, oh, melts like butter. The butter is the fat, and you get the message. And like, I want that. That's a brilliant way of doing it. And I just pulled something up here in my June 2nd newsletter for BDSM. I had something about supplements. I don't know if you guys saw it or not. It's a whole story about breaking down what Mary Ruth and Barrier is doing right now. Yep. I don't know if I said that right, but it's about the market sophistication. I think to answer part of Norm's question, some of what you're saying is like, you can't say lose weight or boost your immune system or feel energized. And like Norm was saying, these slogans are just like, how do we make it different? And there's 5 levels of market sophistication, and the supplement market is pretty sophisticated in a lot of ways. You could add an ingredient or make a different claim, but there's the new market, which you can just come in, you can basically say just what it does, then there's the loud markets, level 2. The level 3 market is a skeptical market. The level 4 market is a jaded market. And the level 5 market is the burned market. And depending on where you're at with what you're doing in the ingredients or the way you're delivering it, gummies became a hot delivery mechanism a few years ago. And now everybody started doing gummies. And like you said, y'all weren't set up to do that. So you help people get set up with very good vendors to do that. So that's part of like a level 1 market is like fall asleep faster. You can just say that and you're new and it works. A level 2 market would be just louder, fall asleep in under 10 minutes. So then when it gets to a level 3 competition, it's like you have to explain how it works. So it's more like fall asleep faster with melatonin plus L-theanine to regulate your circadian rhythm. And then the jaded market is more like sleep patches deliver melatonin transdermally, no pills, no digestion lag. And then when it gets really burned out market and it's just so saturated with competition, you have to go why most melatonin doesn't work. And what we do differently with our sleep patch after the doctor told me to ditch the pills. And then an example I gave was Mary Ruth has a new thing, and they go into dissolving strips. The delivery mechanism from tablets to capsules to gummies, and so now they have a mood and cognition thing. It's got folate and saffron, vegan, B12, and a few other things in it. And they say these are dissolving strips. All you got to do is no swallowing pills, no taking a shot, no whatever. Just stick it under your tongue. And that's how they're differentiating. And then Barrier, they're not selling on Amazon. They have a mechanism for their supplement, and they're like tattoos. So they're saying instead of taking something in your mouth, just put a patch on your shoulder and leave the patch on, and the medicine seeps out into your skin and gets into your blood. And these patches don't look like these, diabetic patches that are circles or whatever. They don't look like Band-Aids. They're little like tattoos. They look like a butterfly, or they look like a car, or they look like something cute. So especially for women that want this for beauty stuff, it looks like it's an accessory. And it's so from the marketing point of view, that's brilliant marketing that these guys are doing and staying on the cutting edge. So I just wanted to throw that out there. If you want to read this whole thing.
Well, hold it a second. I think Adam is going to take those ideas. You're going to see him with the under the tongue thing. But I would really appreciate it, Adam, if you could do a tattoo for Marketing Misfits that had some supplement. It would be like fat ass burner or something like that, But
that would be cool. That would be really cool.
Hey, but that's the bases on it. I think we'd have to order a lot of units.
It's got a little bit of it has a little bit of cigar texture to it, So
right.
Like when you start feeling,
I think it's a nicotine patch is what you're talking about.
Exactly. Exactly. No, so I think that's, and are you doing this kind of stuff? I mean, I know you're doing helping with formulations, but and are you helping like them to come up with the marketing and like find the factories that can make a, I don't know, a butterfly patch and the machinery that can knock this stuff off in that way, or is that like the next level up of manufacturing?
I mean, what we pride ourselves. I mean, our whole tagline, our slogan is like, You bring your ideas, and we'll handle the rest." We're
Okay.
really good at helping brand owners think outside the box and figure out how to do something that's a bit complicated and challenging. We can do the easy stuff, no problem. But if there's something that you want or you need or you have an idea, we can figure it out. But it's like you got to have the budget and you got to have,
Yeah.
right, the wherewithal to be able to pull it off. We're not miracle workers either at the same time, but we can definitely help. I haven't done the strips yet. I've seen them. I've seen the patches. I've seen all that. We just haven't had any requests for that. My only challenge with those delivery methods is that you're very limited on how much of the actual ingredients you can put into those delivery methods. It's very, very
Yeah,
small
that
amounts.
may be. I agree with you. That could be, but if you're first to market to deliver that, you can gain market share and then cross that across all your other supplements and stuff that are more the traditional or the gummies or the capsules or whatever. Yeah.
Absolutely. So yeah, I think they're amazing. They're unique, and definitely will grow in popularity for sure.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Kevin and Norm here with a quick word from one of our sponsors, 8Fig. Let me tell you about a platform that's changing the game for Amazon sellers. That's right, it's called 8Fig. On average, sellers working with 8Fig grow up to 400% in less than a year.
8Fig offers both funding and free tools for e-commerce growth and cash flow management. And here's how it works.
8Fig provides flexible, data-driven funding tailored to your exact needs. You know, they could fund anywhere from up to $50,000 all the way up to $10 million.
8Fig gives you free tools to forecast demand, manage inventory, and analyze cash flow.
Visit 8fig.co, that's 8fig.co, to learn more or check the link in the show notes below.
Just mention Marketing Misfits and get 25% off your cost.
That's 8fig.co, 8fig.co. See you on the other side. Are you familiar with what Gobi's doing right now to promote their supplements?
Hmm.
You are?
Yeah, with their affiliate program and everything.
Yeah, they're massive. I had another story about that actually today in the
I
newsletter.
did
But
read it, by the way. I did
you
read it.
did?
I did
Awesome,
read it.
awesome.
Yeah, I was all
So,
over it.
so for you might go back on, if you missed the June 2nd one. That's about the dissolving strips. You might go back and look at that one
Okay.
if you missed that. But yeah, Govi. Do you know what they're doing, Norm? Are you
Yeah, I
familiar?
read it in the newsletter today.
All right. So those of you
There we go.
listening, from a marketing point of view, since this is a marketing show, they're doing some brilliant stuff with on the creator side, where a lot of the sellers that sell supplements. I mean, supplements. Correct me if I'm wrong, Adam. They typically have a pretty high margin. I mean, a lot of time. I mean, it depends on the ingredients, but there's typically, that's one thing that draws a lot of people because they're small, they're lightweight, they're easier to ship, and generally, and there's usually a pretty decent margin, and then the lifetime value on them is if someone stays on can be pretty high, so you can spend more money to get a customer.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, if you can create, if you, that's why I got into supplements from the very beginning. I always wanted to build a portfolio of repeat buyers, right? And that's the beauty of what the supplement beauty and pet space does.
Yeah, and so what Govi is doing is they're just going balls to the wall on TikTok, especially, and and for those of you who don't know, they're doing a promotion during the month of June. They did one of these last fall too, but the top prize is $1 million cash. If you sell $1 million worth of their supplements, they call it GMV, gross merchandise value, on TikTok Shop, they will pay you $1 million. So they're basically giving you every dime they take, but they know the halo effect of that on Amazon is going to be big, and they know that the lifetime value of these guys are going to stay for X number of months, so they're going to get that money back down the road. And then they're doing all kinds of crazy stuff below that, where you can win a BMW or a condo in Miami, or it goes down to the basic, just sell a little bit and you get some energy drinks or something. But what that's done is they're getting thousands and thousands of affiliates. And affiliates are recruiting other affiliates. They're seeing it and they're competing. And it's a brilliant marketing thing if you have the budget and the balls to do that, which they do. So that brings me back to like, how competitive is it? I mean, you selling supplements, it's super competitive. I think they say the pet supplement space is one of the most competitive spaces on all of Amazon, where cost per click is like through the roof. What are you seeing on that?
In regards to what? Just how competitive it is?
The competitiveness of supplements on marketplaces like Amazon.
Yeah. I mean, it's insane. It's more competitive now than it ever has been, right? For a lot of different reasons. It's harder to get reviews. I feel like there's a ton of brands that have already kind of been entrenched into the space. But if you're going to get started, you just gave the blueprint on how to do it. And that is, you got to have a two-pronged approach, and that is your TikTok shop and or social, and you got to have your Amazon page built out, and you've got to drive sales through TikTok, and then have that halo effect onto Amazon. And you need to be running both simultaneously, but that requires, capital and time. And so I feel like the private label seller is going to have a harder time. Not that it's impossible. That comes back down to story and how you position. But this is, I'm curious what you guys think, but I just feel like the private label seller, that 500 unit, the 1,000 unit order, which we get a lot of requests for, and I just say, listen, unless you've got some real power to stay in the game, it's hard. It's getting harder to compete just trying to make it on Amazon alone. You've got to have multiple approaches to do it.
Well, I think if I was going into it, I would go the pet supplement way for a couple of reasons. One, I would niche way down, like the 500 to 1,000. I would find something that's a supplement for left-handed people with one eye or something. I don't know.
Are you talking about
Like,
dogs? Left-handed dogs?
You have to be a left-handed, one-eyed dog owner,
yeah,
and that
exactly.
qualify
A
you.
dog with a yeah, exactly. But then if that was humans, but then if it was pets, because pets don't know if it's working or not. A human's taking something, I feel better, I have more energy, or I'm losing weight. On a dog, the dog, I mean, the human has to decide, is this working or not? And it may may be or may not. So I would think the lifetime value might be a little stronger on a pet. And a lot of people will spend money on their pet, sometimes more than they'll spend on their own health. They'll actually spend it on a pet. And if you position it like you saying with the story properly, and you don't have to get as crazy with the delivery mechanisms, I think that could be, even though it's competitive there, that might be where I go. And there's less liability because pets are property. You give a supplement to a human and they die, you can get sued for murder. According to this Tylenol thing. But if a pet takes a supplement and dies, it's property damage. It's a whole different thing. It's not criminal. It's civil. So that's where I would go if I was doing it, and try to compete and position the product as if the human was taking it, but this is for your dog, and appeal on those emotions that everybody wants to treat their dog like a princess.
I don't disagree. I think first thing, anyone listening to this, if you're looking to do it or you're already in, is this passion. What are you passionate about? If you are passionate about your dog and your animals, and you can put everything into that would be the first thing. And then to your point, niching down and figuring out, okay, where's a market I can create? Is something going on with my own dog, my own pet, that I can create a relatable, believable story and connect that to the brand in some way? And then you start to build community. Once that product's
Yeah.
been developed and you've got your story, then you go out there and you start finding groups of people online that have animals that are dealing with that same issue, and then you start to become part of it. And the next thing you know, you've got some organic traction, you've got a following, and that's where it really starts to kick in onto your Amazon brand.
I guess one of the things that you got to look at as well, you were talking about this new seller that's coming in and doing the 500 to 1,000 bottles. Well, you really got to look at, is there a USP? Is there a different bottle? Is there a different label? Can I afford all that? What type of marketing am I going to do? It's not just going to be coming in from Amazon PPC. So I'm kind of curious, what type of budget? Now I know this is how long is a piece of string, but on average, if I were to come to you and say, I have this great idea for this really cool supplement, what do you gotta look at? And also we've got to put in, like you just said, that community cost. So we want to build that up as well. But are you looking at 15,000? Are you looking at 50,000? What do you need?
Yeah, so I'm this exact situation myself right now. I'm launching a new brand, and I've got my budget around at just in product cost alone, I'm at 40. I'm at 40,000. Now normally I would say in the past I would launch a brand with 1,000 units or 1,500 units if I was just doing Amazon, but I'm not going that path. I'm doing the exact strategy that I told you. So I need about 5,000 units. I need to do all my seeding with my influencers. I need to, get my Vine reviews built up. So that's just on the product side. And then I've allocated another 30, give or take, towards building out all the other infrastructure that I need. All my websites, my Shopify stores, my bundles, my Amazon pages, and then getting the right team members. Right, you got to have the right people sitting on the bus, because it's not practical for one person to do all these things efficiently. So you got to have a couple of team members to help you navigate this stuff. So, I'm budgeting between 70 and 90,000 for my product launch. Right, but I want to go big with it. Like, that's my goal.
You've launched hundreds of brands. Can you just give us one product launch that you're really proud of?
One product launch that I'm really proud of.
Yeah, and why?
Um, well, I think that's really, you're putting me on the spot here.
I am.
I got a couple. I think the one I've had a bunch, like you said. I'm more excited about the one I'm about to do, actually, more than the others, and I know that isn't an example of one, but I'm excited about the one I'm about to do because it takes into consideration all the things I've talked about. My father, suffered from early onset Alzheimer's. Okay, and so I didn't want to suffer from that same fate. So I started doing a ton of research. This is about 3 years ago, and I started reading this, and I truly believe in manifestation. So I'm reading this industry magazine around supplements, and the term gut brain. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this before, but
Yeah.
gut brain axis psychobiotics was like on the cover. And I'm like, gut brain, what the hell is that all about? So I started doing a ton of research, and I figured out, and I'll get to the point, is that the gut and the brain have a symbiotic relationship. And 90% of people feel that if something's going on with the brain, they need to fix the brain first. But in reality, over, I think, 85% of our body's ability to fight disease comes from, and our immunity comes from our stomach, proper gut health. And so if you want to fix the brain, inflammation, depression, disorder, all these other things, you actually need to fix the gut first. So on a whim, I filed for a trademark, gut brain, for supplements, never thinking I'd actually would get it. But 6 months later, I got the trademark for the term gut brain.
Good
And I'm
name.
now launching a brand. It's a nootropic product that is focused on helping people with short-term and long-term memory, but using ingredients that fix the microbiome, the gut, which in then turn fixes the brain for clarity, memory, focus, all the other amazing attributes that go along with it. So why am I excited about that? Because it's a story, it's relatable, it is real, and I'm developing a product for myself, but that will help and benefit millions of other people. And so that brand has a lot of intention behind it, right? And if you're listening to this podcast, I would say build your brand and your community with intention, right? With the right emotions around it, because that's what will resonate with people more now than ever, because there's so many products out there that are confusing and misleading. And I just feel like if you have authenticity to the brand, that's going to resonate with people more than ever.
What's
This
a
gave me
what's a nootropic? You said that word just for people who don't understand. What's a nootropic?
A nootropic product is really a brain it can be considered like a brain stimulant. So a bunch of like neurohackers, David Asprey as an example,
Yeah.
his products were nootropics, like brain hacking. How do you maximize the output of the brain with supplementation?
Okay.
Yeah. And so my product is a nootropic. It's a brain product, but it's the first in the world to actually combine a psychobiotic, which is a probiotic that breaks the blood-brain barrier. So that probiotic communicates with the brain and does a whole bunch of really, really cool stuff. I'm not going to bore you with it, but it's different, it's unique, and it works. And so, yeah, to answer your question, Norm, that's what I'm really excited about right now.
Oh, just listening to, you getting gut brain, right?
Our brain.
And getting that trademark. I was just thinking, I don't know, Kevin, maybe we could talk about it right here, but we could put out a supplement called Fat Ass. What do you
There
think?
you go.
Yeah.
I think it would be good. We could probably sell a lot.
Yeah.
We could sell a lot, especially into some communities.
And tattoos with just big asses on it.
There you go. So
someone who can manufacture that for you when you're ready. Okay.
yeah,
All right.
I know. I heard about this turnkey place somewhere.
Yeah.
It's interesting you say that. That's been a big trend lately. I remember my brother. He's big into the stomach health gut stuff, and like 8 years ago, before this was cool, he actually told me, "Hey, Kevin, you should check out what they're doing in Israel. The rules are different on testing or lab work or whatever it is in Israel than they are in the U.S. And they're actually taking the poo-poo of other humans and sticking it in another human, like a healthy human's poo-poo, and somehow injecting that into a person that is sick." And it's actually healing them because these gut whatever microbes or whatever the technology the thing is are actually then getting into the sick person and like killing all the bad ones and reharvesting in a good way. And I'm like, you gotta be joking.
So
And then I look at that's the real thing now, and it's come a long ways.
So yes, that is true. That is a thing. I can verify that. I haven't participated in that at all, but
Don't worry, Norm. We're not going to do that.
in essence, what you're doing is you're recolonizing your gut microbiome. So they will take the fecal matter from healthy, like someone who's really healthy, got like an unbelievable microbiome, and they'll put that into people who really don't have it, and it will regenerate and recolonize. And they've seen amazing results with it.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
So how are you doing the formulations now? Are like is you seeing a lot of I mean, like this one that you just developed? I mean, that can be years of research in a lab, or is it you put on a white coat and you're in your kitchen like mixing stuff and then boiling water's over here, or is it like go to ChatGPT and say, hey, this is the issue, do some deep research and spit something back out to me?
I think it's a combination of all of it except for the lab coat part. So ideally you would go to chat and you would be like, hey, listen, I want to create the world's best nootropic formula, and what I want to make sure it has is both short-term and long-term benefits. I want something that someone's going to feel within the first 45 minutes of taking it, but that also has a lot of long-term health benefit. And I want it to have one trademarked ingredient, and I want, so I like to give it very specific requirements. And then it kicks that back out to you, and then you can just start to play with that formulation, and that's where I would come in. So once that initial research was done, I'd sit down with you and say, okay, let me look at what you've developed. I'll put it through my own process. I'll analyze it, and then I'll start to look at it for feasibility. Like, how do those ingredients work together? Are they symbiotic, and do they have a good relationship? Do they pair well? What's the cost structure going to be? Like, are you giving me something that's going to cost $50 to make and just isn't feasible in the marketplace? And then once we've dialed that in, and I think it's at a really good place, at least 85%, 90% there, I'll then put that out to bid with my manufacturing partners, and let's start to see where the prices come back, what we're thinking about, and then we can always refine it a bit more. And then we'll also double check that with our in-house doctor team or scientists, because they may be able to close that 10% gap, right? They may say, okay, well, this is really good, but maybe add this or don't add this because it doesn't add as much value as maybe replacing it with this thing. Those are the things chat doesn't totally get right, but I feel like we can get 90% of the way there. And that final 10% was really where we come in.
What about testing it? I mean, is there a process where you like you just said earlier, your new thing, you're like, it works. You got all excited. It actually works. So how do you is when you're doing supplements, like if you're going to get FDA approval, you got to go through all these rounds of testing. With supplements, is that the case, or you can just like ChatGPT said this, the doctor looked at it, he said, "Yep, looks good. All right, let's put it out and
It
pray."
depends on what you're using. A lot of the ingredients we recommend have either clinical studies or clinical trials behind them. So there's a difference between a trademarked ingredient and a generic ingredient.
Now, a quick word from our sponsor, Levanta. Hey, Kevin, tell us a little bit about it.
That's right, Amazon sellers. Do you want to skyrocket your sales and boost your organic rankings? Meet Levanta, Norm and I's secret weapon for driving high-quality external traffic straight to our Amazon storefronts using affiliate marketing. That's right. It's achieved through direct partnerships with leading media outlets like CNN, Wirecutter, and BuzzFeed, just to name a few, as well as top affiliates, influencers, bloggers, and media buyers, all in Levanta's marketplace, which is home to over 5,000 different creators that you get to choose from.
So are you ready to elevate your business? Visit get.levanta.io/misfits. That's get.levanta, LEVANTA.io/misfits, and book a call, and you'll get up to 20% off Levanta's gold plan today. That's get.levanta.io/misfits.
So there's a difference between a trademarked ingredient and a generic ingredient. But like, for example, fish oil, you can just use fish oil, and there are hundreds of trials that verify fish oil is good if they meet these minimum requirements, right? Like if it has so much DHA and whatever in it. And then there's a trademarked ingredient like deep sea fish oil. That's not a thing, I just made that up, but that would be a specific ingredient where they probably did a real trial, and so they can say individuals who use this particular deep sea fish oil experience this, this, and this. Okay, so as you're developing your brand, the deep sea fish oil ingredient might be like 5 times more expensive than a generic fish oil, but you get to leverage those clinical trial claims in your marketing and branding versus just generic research that's been done. So there's a value add to you as the brand owner depending on what's important to you.
I know I've seen a bunch of just crazy products that have, over the years from Amazon sellers. Have you ever had just somebody, a new seller wants to, start selling supplements, come up to you with just some stupid or crazy idea, and you just shut them down right on the spot?
Yeah, but I don't know if this show is appropriate for that.
Oh, I guess I can imagine. All right, there we go.
Yeah, we've definitely had some interesting things come up. I got asked the other day, can I make a doggy Viagra? Right. So I was like, there's, I got to draw the line somewhere. Like, what?
Oh, I can only picture that. That's
I'm like, okay.
something that's a little red thing sticking out all the time.
Yeah, that's on my pay grade.
Yeah. So that's what about the interaction of ingredients? So, I mean, like in, doctors, medical doctors have when they're prescribing, like, oh, make sure this Excedrin, if you take Excedrin at the same time as this other ingredient over here, they can have an adverse reaction when they're combined. Is there some Bible of supplements like when you're in there crafting them and make them like, well, we can't put turmeric with cinnamon because that'll cause an explosion in the gut or whatever? Or, there's some sort of like rules and regulations around that?
There are no rules and or regulations in the sense of, the FDA doesn't police each product that goes out the door, right? You as the brand owner take onus and developing your formulation to know these requirements. A lot of times the lab themselves will catch these situations, but again, not 100% their responsibility. But at the end of the day, that's why all supplements have the disclaimers. Make sure you talk to your healthcare professional before you take any supplements, right? And you really should be doing that. Like, hey, like here's my concoction of products. You please take a look, make sure all these things don't interact with my diabetes medicine or my insulin or those types of things. So it's the brand owner, but it's also the consumer needs to be responsible too for what they're putting in their body ultimately.
Okay, that's so. When is there an ideal when you're from the marketing point of view? Is there an ideal number of units, whether it's capsules or tablets or strips or gummies or whatever, to be in a unit? Do you want to package them 30 if it's a daily thing so that they have to come back to you every month, or do you want no? Let's give them a 90-day supply so they can only order every 3 months, or is there some psychology to the way you actually package these and to do the marketing to actually maximize value from a manufacturer to customer point of view?
Yeah, great question. So I like to do 30-day supply of everything. So that could be a 1 or 2 capsule, or if it's 5 capsules, then you do the math, and then you just do bundles from there, and you start giving price breaks. So 30-day supply in a single bottle. Then you come back, and if they want a 60-day or 90-day supply, you just kind of pack them together, bundle them together, and then you just give them a discount for ordering more. But that's what I would do. That's what I typically
What
see works the best.
what about the ones that take longer to take effect? I don't know. I'm just making something up here. Some hair growth supplement, and it takes 90 days to actually before I start really seeing my hair growing back on my head.
Working
Do
really well.
do, do people actually do you sell that as a 90-day supply, or do you sell that as a 30-day supply and they got to keep coming back? Or how many people give up? They're like, I'm not seeing. How many people when it comes to supplements want instant results? They want to feel better, want to have more energy now. They're not willing to play the long game.
Yeah, I mean, there are certain products that I personally never got into, and not that they're bad, but that is one of them. I mean, there's a difference between somebody feeling something short term and then someone actually seeing a real result, like hair growth. That doesn't work for everybody, and it's very scientific. And you and I both know if you start getting negative reviews, like you're done. Like that's really difficult to sustain. But to answer your question, I feel that giving them a 30-day supply and then having them come back and reorder is probably, they are less likely to do that. That's why I think a 90-day supply would make sense in that scenario. So you just give them the full amount. It might cost more, but after 30 days, if they don't see results, they write a negative review, or they don't buy the next 60 days worth, right? So the likelihood of them coming back and repurchasing it is lower versus selling them the full amount all up front.
So I want to talk a little bit about perceived value. Kevin and I talk about this quite a bit. And somebody comes to you, multiple people come to you with a very similar formula, or it could be the exact formula. You're giving them the manufacturer, they're cutting the deal, I guess. And then it really comes down to the marketing side. You can have the white, I call it the generic supplement bottle. You have very similar products, but then you have that person that does something completely different, and all of a sudden, and I'm asking you this, they can charge more. They spend a couple of nickels, a dollar extra, and they can charge $10 or $20 more. Do you see that quite a bit?
I do. Yeah. I mean, if you just go online right now, whether it's Instagram or TikTok, just doing the average white bottle is fine, but it's really the brands that create that brand image that are crushing it right now. Differentiation, sustainability, form factor, colors, all those things have to be different. They don't have to be, but if you really want to stand out, they should be. So
Is that
yes.
why you use a trademark ingredient in your formulation? You said you're using one in yours. Does that give you some sort of IP protection, or because you have an exclusive right to use that ingredient, or
No,
let me
no.
know.
Anyone can use a trademark agreement or a trademark the trademark product.
Oh, okay. So what keeps somebody out? You come out with yours. What keeps someone else, your competition, from buying the pill or a bottle and reverse engineering it and like, oh, let's do our own version?
Nothing.
Nothing.
It's just a marketing then, right?
So it comes down to marketing and being a leader and staying on the edge,
Community.
in community.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it goes back to that community, Kevin, that you were
and
talking about.
trust. Yeah.
Community and trust. You got to build those two things, and you're good. And you're good to go. But there is nothing stopping somebody from looking at my supplements panel and copying it.
Huh. Okay. So that's why you're seeing Norm probably these people that are putting a different twist and calling it the Coumarin PX20 or something and it's got a slightly different mix or it's got extra something in it, so it's an extra boost. I mean, but a lot of times you look at I think a lot of Excedrin and Tylenol and stuff. It's all marketing because you go to the Walgreens or the CVS to pick up a bottle of Tylenol. There's Tylenol extra strength, Tylenol migraine, Tylenol this and that. A lot of them, it's the exact same damn thing. You look at the ingredients on the back, it's the exact same thing in each one. They're just changing the packaging to go, so you don't go, Tylenol, I don't know, I need something for a migraine. Oh, Tylenol migraine, that's for me. Let me buy that. It's the exact same thing as the regular Tylenol. Or maybe it's a slight variation of a little bit extra or something, but it's basically the same thing. So do you see a lot of that marketing kind of stuff happen in the supplement space too?
1,000%. If you're not doing that moving forward, that's the whole point I was trying to get at. You've got
Yeah.
to, someone who's got a migraine, yeah, it may be a smaller pool versus someone who's just looking for a Tylenol for a sore shoulder. But if you've got a migraine, you're gonna gravitate right towards that product, right? Because it's talking to you. It's specific.
So you should break down whatever your supplement does. If it solves these 7 problems, you have one that's like a master bottle. Okay, we solve all these problems. It's the master mix, and then to have different packaging or different SKU or different something that's the same thing, just completely differently marketed towards migraines or towards gut health or towards brain fog or whatever it is. And that would be a really good strategy, is to have multiple SKUs of the same thing, targeting different audiences.
Yeah, you could. Just depends on your bandwidth. But if you created a brand that was specific in the audience, you could leverage that same brand on multiple symptoms too, right? But
Yeah.
yes, I think the more you can be focused, the more you can be targeted, the better.
Are you selling in retail?
I'm not. My business partner is. I have not gone the retail route yet, but my goal would be with the new brand to do so.
Have you considered retail packaging right off the bat? So we've got our online packaging, which could be completely different from retail. Do you kind of think about that before you launch your product?
Yeah, I actually have my new branding right here. I could show you guys. I don't know if you want me to get up or not, but yeah, I've done that. I've already designed the packaging for retail, even though I'm just starting online.
Smart, very good.
Yeah.
What's the hottest trends right now in supplements? What are people coming to you like? You always ask in the Amazon space, the 3PLs, like, here's another weighted baby blanket. Here's another weighted baby blanket. Here's another fidget spinner. What is it in supplement? You see it because everybody and their brothers coming to you for formulations, or can you do this? What's hot? What's hot right now, or what's going to be the
Gummies
next
right now? Like gummies are the hottest product. So anything in gummies is really doing well. There's like whey protein gummies, sleepy gummies, vitamins. Just anything gummies is really good. What else? I've seen a lot of pet products, like you said, like chews, joint products. Probiotics is a really popular one. Seems to be doing really well still. So I would say those types of products, yeah.
Hey, Kevin King and Norm Farrar here. If you've been enjoying this episode of Marketing Misfits, thanks for listening this far. Continue listening. We've got some more valuable stuff coming up. Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you're listening to this on your favorite podcast player, or if you're watching this on YouTube or Spotify, make sure you subscribe to our channel because you don't want to miss a single episode of the Marketing Misfits. Have you subscribed yet, Norm?
Well, this is an old guy alert. Should I subscribe to my own podcast?
Yeah, but what if you forget to show up one time and it's just me on here? You're not going to know what I say.
I'll buy you a beard and you can sit in my chair too. And you can go back and forth with one another.
Yikes!
But that being said, don't forget to subscribe, share it. Oh, and if you really like this content, somewhere up there, there's a banner. Click on it, and you'll go to another episode of the Marketing Misfits.
Make sure you don't miss a single episode because you don't want to be like Norm.
Oh. Just a quick story. This goes back to 1997, 98. And I was staying with a buddy, and he had these, I think that, yeah, there you go. I could tell.
That was the year I was born.
Yeah, and I was 50. So, but he had these. Yeah, that's exactly it. But he had these giant schnauzers, and both of them, I think that's what you call them. Both of them had really bad hip dysplasia, and he got this nano water, and it was from an MLM back in the day. And he started using it, and I was with him for 3 weeks. No crap. These dogs were running around after 3 weeks of drinking this bloody water. Now, it's no longer on the market, but it worked like a charm. I don't know why they didn't take it off.
It had cocaine in it, Norm. That's why they took it off the market. It gave the dogs energy. That's why they could run around without pain. It was cocaine. Water.
Yeah. Hey, it looks like it's at the top of the hour. Adam, I've got one question for you.
Yes, sir.
We always ask our misfits if they know a misfit.
Yeah, I got a great person for you, Tommy Lynch. I would throw his hat in the ring. I don't know if you've talked to Tommy before, TikTok guy. That might be of interest to the audience. It seems to be a really hot topic right now, and I think he would be a great fit.
Yeah, his story. I just interviewed him yesterday for the AMPM podcast.
Amazing.
And his story, living in building furniture out of pallets, where he's grabbing them from when he's 15, and then living in a bus and going around doing the bus thing. No,
Kevin, X-Nay, you're spoiling it. There's a spoiler alert here.
It's good. No, there's more to it. I'm leaving a lot of things out. It's good. But yeah, Tommy's good.
He's a good dude. So that would have been my pick, but you already got him. So I think
we haven't
for this podcast.
Okay. Well, yeah, he might be a good fit. I think Krista would be a great one. I know you've met Krista before. She was Norm. You talked to her.
Right.
She was with me. I don't know if have you interviewed her yet?
No, we haven't. That's a good one.
Get her on. Get her on. I think she'd be an awesome fit. Former Amazon employee for like 7 or 11 years. She was in the belly of the beast, and she's got a lot of great insight for that type of stuff.
She's crazy smart as well.
She's wicked smart. Yeah. She's going to put you both to shame, but that's okay.
I believe
it. Someone that can put Norm to shame.
Oh yeah, right. Friggin' Dallas the dog puts me to shame. There you go.
So, all right, Adam. People want to reach out. Where do they go if they want to get into the supplement business, learn more? What's the website or how they reach you or whatever?
Yeah, just turnkeyhealthandbeauty.com. Turnkeyhealthandbeauty.com. And thank you guys. I've always been huge fans of you guys for many, many years, and I appreciate the opportunity to actually spend some quality time in this format with you. So it's my honor.
Well, thank you. We're glad you're on the podcast.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing you soon.
All right, so I'm going to remove you, and we'll be back. Just Kevin and I now. Oh, where's the button? Oh, there we go.
You did it.
I did it. I almost thought I took Adam right out of left the studio, but
that's got me thinking. I need to come up with a supplement. I lost my last dog last year to that liver disease, and I was having, the whole story behind that. But I wonder if I could do some deep research and find something that would actually, I was able to prolong her life. They said that they usually live about 2 years, and by using some creams and different things and having a special doctor, I was able to get another 10 months out of her almost. So I wonder if there's something out there. He's got me thinking like I should go do some research based on what I know there, because that's a good story. Like he said, you need a story, and then actually creating something along those lines and seeing what might help. I mean, that's a pretty niche thing because it's a rare disease, but there's probably something that's couple levels up that a lot more dogs have. So no, I think with the tools now, like what he said was with Chat GPT and some of these things that can do all this research for you, that cuts down the barrier to entry, I think, dramatically on a lot of this stuff.
100%. You should also launch the other supplement line more for, you said
What, the ED one for dogs?
no.
I just take that one myself. I mean,
No, just something that you like. I know that you only take supplements that you can. Well, they're. What am I trying to say? Stick them up your ass.
Yeah, those are the best because they melt really fast.
Yeah, right.
They go in. No, but I'm someone that I can't swallow pills of any kind, of any size, even the tiniest little aspirin, baby aspirin.
Are you serious?
I cannot swallow it. So
Really?
every bit of so if it's a time release medicine, I don't get time release. I have to unscrew the little capsule, the little plastic, and dump the little white powder into a spoon, put a couple drops of water in there, and take it. Or I have to get it. I have to get it in a different format, a tablet format that I can chew. So I actually have chasers. You've seen them probably in my house. I mean, some of the medicines and vitamins I take. If it's Flintstones flavored grape, I can take that and chew it. I can't swallow it, but I can chew it. But normal vitamins, you put 4 or 5 in your mouth or medicines, it's nasty. So I have a chaser. I have little pralines, like a little pralines with peanuts in them. And I just break off a small little piece and I put the pills in my mouth and I put that as a chaser to knock the nasty taste out because I have to chew it.
That's wild.
Yeah, I almost drowned when I was young. So that's I have a version. It's not just pills. It's like if I'm eating pho, and when you're eating pho, there's some of those little leaves, those little leaves. And if one of those gets stuck on my mouth on the way down, it freaks me out. So it's one of those things that I'm sure there's other people like that. So maybe I should come up with a delivery mechanism for those kind of people. I mean, got my wheels turning here talking to Adam.
Suppositories.
I don't know. What was that website? Let me write that down.
Turnkey.
Turnkey, something beauty. Yeah, no, yes, I'm just kidding. Oh. But no, that was great. So if you like this podcast, and you know someone in the supplement business, maybe, or someone that should hear this, or someone that's got some good ideas, or maybe even has a good story, forward this to them because I think they'll get a lot of value by listening to Adam, and maybe they can even reach out to Adam and he can help you, or help you or your friend or your colleague that's thinking about this, and kind of put them on the right track and make sure they get hooked up with the right people. So I think this could be a very valuable episode for a lot of you. And if you like it, make sure you hit that subscribe button, whether you're watching this on YouTube or whether you're on Apple Podcast or Spotify or wherever it may be, because every single Tuesday, Norm and I are here with a brand new episode that's really cool. Anything marketing related. We talk about everything from domains to email marketing to supplement marketing to branding to you name it. And it's all here. And now we even have another channel that Norm has been busting on. He and the team have been working really hard on. It's really cool. What's that channel, Norm, that they should check out?
It's on YouTube, and you can get there. It's just Marketing Misfits Clips, and it's doing really well. And what we're doing with it is we're just extracting the nuggets, 3 minutes or less. So if you don't have time to listen to the long format, you can go over there, and we're publishing around 4 clips a week right now. It'll be more a little bit later on, but it's and getting lots of views. So, and by the way, guys, if you subscribe here, don't forget to subscribe over there.
That's right. You want to do it in both places.
Exactly.
Norm, we got things to do, money to make, people to talk to, things to research. So I guess I'll see you again next week for another episode.
All right. And don't forget, marketingmisfits.co.
That's right. Ciao.
See you later.